Randy, good to see you, buddy.
Hey, happy Monday. Woohoo.
Did you do anything this weekend that you really normally wouldn't tell anybody about, but you feel obliged to share with us today?
Well, there's always checking out a little golf here and there and doing some honeydews and this and that, trying to stay out of trouble and one step ahead of the law. Speaking of the law, Teddy, that'll be our topic coming up this Wednesday. We'll get more into that in a moment. But again, my name's Randy Wooden. I work with Goodwill Industries of Northwest North Carolina, run our professional center. So if you're a professional, you're in a job search or thinking about a job search, our services are free. Look me up on LinkedIn and give me a call, shoot me an email, and we'll get started. So that's me. And Teddy, who are you?
Yeah. So, hey, folks, Teddy Burriss, LinkedIn strategist, trainer, and coach. Our business is all about teaching business professionals how to use LinkedIn as a business tool, how to build the right profile, the right network, the right brand. It's a lot of fun. We do corporate training programs, one-on-one coaching. We have private mastermind groups. We just recently launched a Quora space, which is all about helping people use LinkedIn. It's fun stuff. So, but Randy and I get together twice a week on Mondays and Wednesdays. This is what our parole officer told us we need to do. Satire. And, we try to help our unemployed and job seeker friends any way we can. Is that, Randy, did I say that somewhat right?
I think that will pass through the censors just fine. So I think we're good. You want me to start with a story, or how do you want to do this?
Do you have a good story for this week?
I do. And this one's kind of a serious note, certainly to start with. And I don't mean to make it into a political statement, so I'm not going to go there. But I think you'd have to have been living, in a dark room under a rock, not to have seen and read about and heard about a lot of the stuff going on in Afghanistan these last days and weeks. And it's not been pretty. So again, both sides of the aisle look to make political points, and I get that. That's not why I'm here to talk about that. One of my sons served active duty as a Marine at the heat of this thing back in 06, 7, 8, that time frame, did a tour in Iraq and one in Afghanistan. And he carried out his mission. He did what he was asked to do, what he was told to do. He did the things that were necessary for him to complete his tour. And like so many, he came home with both physical and emotional scars. So a lot of stuff that goes on that you and me will thankfully never have to witness, hopefully. And, unfortunately, many others never came home. But yet, even though the outcome that we're seeing unfold and has unfolded isn't what we had hoped for when this thing started, that doesn't invalidate what my son, perhaps your family has had active duty members and so many others. It doesn't invalidate what they did. They did what they had to do to do their job. And so to carry that over to the job search, and now you've talked this for many years, and I certainly 100% agree with you, is that as job hunters, we have a process. We have a mission, if you will. The end goal, we hope, is to land the job. But just like my son and many others who served, there are a number of tasks and duties that we go through with the expectation it's going to lead to a positive end game. For example, networking. For example, having a good resume, good interview skills, negotiating skills, having a little luck along the way. Timing is a lot, but that also means you have to be prepared when that time comes. And so even if the end goal, and you do everything within your power to do the right thing consistently, it may not result in the end game that you'd hoped, but that doesn't invalidate or make wrong the steps that you were taking. So don't lose the faith in that, hey, I'm doing the right thing here. It just may not happen on your time as soon as you'd like it to happen. And just like so many who served, they look back and go, hey, was it worth it? The end game wasn't what we'd hoped for. But again, it doesn't invalidate what was done and our appreciation and love for those who sacrificed so much.
Yeah, I'm with you, buddy. I'm with you 100%. Stay the journey. Stay the journey. Know where you want to be going. Keep moving that way. Maybe you never get to that goal, but you'll get to some other goal, specifically in the job search world. You'll get to something if you keep moving forward. So
don't give up.
Hey, I got a tip about something like that. I'll share my tip later on.
Right.
Let me share my story.
Yep.
Randy, conversations with strangers, man.
Be careful, Teddy.
Mama said, don't be talking to no strangers. I have to respectfully, as an adult, disagree with Mom in my context, or as in our context as adults. Our context as adults. So anyway, conversation with strangers. The other day, I saw an article somewhere. I saw a picture of a 1972 Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme. By the way, sweet car, leather interior, rally wheels, had the chrome insert rims on it, 350 V8, high torque automatic transmission, sweet car. And I owned it. I bought that. You know what it cost back in 1972, Randy?
I don't know, 2000.
3,600. It was a high-end car, buddy.
Okay. I spend that at Sam's Club every weekend. So, it's.
Yeah. So anyway, I saw this picture of this car. I saw the guy who wrote the article. I went and looked for him on LinkedIn because it was a really good, well-written article about his love for old cars and showing off old cars. And I found him on LinkedIn, and he's relevant to me. I sent him an invite, and I said words to this effect: dude, I just saw a picture of the article you wrote and the picture of my car, LOL.
Ooh, okay.
So, and I, said something else in there about our relevance in business, and he accepted my invite, and he responded back. He goes, "What do you mean your car?" And so I messaged him back. I said, I had a 1972 Cutlass Supreme. And if you want to hear the story about how I totaled it the night I got engaged, give me a call. And so we talked. I told him the story, and then we started talking about our current businesses. And my point is, conversations with strangers can lead to all kinds of new ideas. And this guy turns out is more relevant to me in business than I thought he was. And we're scheduled for more conversations in the future. Have conversations with strangers. Make them purposeful, make them relevant in all kinds of ways, and you never know where it's going to go.
Yeah, I do that from time to time. And again, no joke here, but with LinkedIn, and that's how we've landed a number of our guests on our show Wednesdays, is through reaching out, saying, "Hey, I appreciate what you do, and let's have a conversation about being on the show." So, before you introduce our special guest for this Wednesday, the 25th, remind everybody, hang on to the end of the show, because Randy and I have some tips that I'm sure you can get value from them. So, Randy, who's our guest coming up this week? Hey, we have not one but two attorneys. So I don't know if we'll get a word in edgewise, Teddy.
Are they my attorneys?
Dewey, Cheatham, and Steele? Is that, or are they your law firm? Just kidding.
Not my attorneys.
No, not at all. We have two. We have and Mike Wells Sr. Most folks in the triad know Mike. He's been a long time, out in the media. He does a lot of free talks. He's been, I think the president of the NC Bar Association. I mean, he is a community leader and has been around a very long time. And Roberta Latham, who also works along with Mike in certain areas of the law, particularly, and what we'll talk about on Wednesday is employment law. And we're going to go there with Roberta from the standpoint, she's going to talk about COVID and what are the state regulations regarding what companies can do, what you can do as a worker bee, that kind of thing. We'll talk about this whole unemployment benefits and all of the things that a lot of people don't want to talk about, but yet need to have knowledge of. And so we're going to cover a lot of issues with employment law. And that's kind of getting in the weeds as far as the job search and employment and companies and such. But we're also going to have a little fun, Teddy. You like to have fun.
I try to, man.
You like to have fun. Mike Wells, again, been around the block a long time, and he has written a number of columns on what I learned on my way to the courthouse.
Yeah, great articles.
Yeah, and just anecdotal stories of things he's encountered. And I'm going to kind of call him the Andy Griffith, kind of that whole thing. Hey, I've been around, I've seen this. Here's some things I can share with you that might help you get through life a little easier and have a laugh at the same time and just kind of grin. And so we're going to share a little of the fun side, and also we'll get in the weeds with some of the legal things that you need to know as we continue through this unprecedented COVID era that we're in right now. So that'll be at noon. Yeah, 11:55, right? 11:55 on Wednesday. Woohoo! And sign up. It's free. We'd love to have you take part in the conversation.
Yeah. A lot of changes going on in employment, in organizations, corporations, the things that they're doing. Hopefully they're all doing it legally, and sometimes it's to our benefit and sometimes it's not, but the best thing to do is to be aware. So absolutely.
Yeah, and there's so much. Again, it's an at-will state here in North Carolina. So what are the things that can do? And that kind of ties into my tips. I'll share a tip, and then I'll turn it to you to take us home. And the tip deals with the legal issues. And I think we've all known people who are, let's say, laymen, practicing attorneys from their keyboard, and they've been on social media and they read a few things, or they've been online.
Or watch Judge Judy.
Well, or Judge Wapner, if he's still alive. I have no idea. I haven't watched that since I was your age. So that was a long time ago. But point being, don't believe everything that you are seeing online, on TV. Just, again, there's a lot of views out there, and some people can take something that may be a half truth and make it into a full truth. So if you think you know the law, you may not know the law. So just know that there are attorneys out there like Roberta, like Michael, that actually know what they're talking about. And so before you go and put your foot in the mouth or worse, you may want to get some real advice on that. And to piggyback with that, just because you may have or think you have the right to do something doesn't make it right. And that's everything from me yelling, well, I better not yell it, but I love the Red Sox, to do that out front of Yankee Stadium. I have the right to do that. Now, I might get the heck beat out of me as a result, but I have the right to do it. Just like a company can terminate you for no reason. Well, there's some reasons that are, from an EEO standpoint, but it's an at-will state.
Yeah. Does
that make it right? They can do it. So we'll get into some of those things we'll talk about with Roberta and Mike, but just because it gives you the right to do something doesn't always make it right. Do the right thing. How about that?
I'm with you. So I came fully dressed to the day's event, Randy, because I knew the right thing to do was to put on pants.
Thank you.
So, hey, here's my tip.
Yeah.
If you think you're just barely ready, you're ready. I had a lady post this earlier this week, and what she was talking about was her rule is, if I'm 51% ready, I need to go. I need to move forward. I need to do it. She talked about things like starting a new career, starting her own business, getting married, buying a car, buying a house, all kinds of things in life. And she said, my rule is, if I believe that I'm barely ready, I'm ready. Don't wait till you're 80 or 90% ready, because often we never get that certain of pulling the trigger on whatever it is that we want to do. So it's important, if you want to keep moving forward, she used the word tipping point. Once you're at that tipping point of 51%, go, do it, make the change, take the leap, start the career, start the business, start a new career, write a book, whatever it is that's the right thing to do, then do it, because we're never going to get 80% ready. And often if we wait too long, it never happens, and then we have regrets. So
I think we're all human. Teddy, just real quick, because you said something that triggered a thought. This whole thing that I do with Goodwill and helping job hunters, and so I did that back in Ohio many years ago. Came here to work for a different company. I was in sales, and at the time I was about 42 or so, and I thought, you know what, I want to do the work I did in Ohio. And I told people, they go, what the heck are you doing? There's no market for that. That's just, it's crazy. This is a long time ago. It's like at 2002. And I said, look, I didn't want to wake up at age 60, which is where I am right now. Did I say that?
Are you I guess that old?
But I told many people, I said, look, I don't want to wake up at age 60 and wonder what if. I said, there's no guarantees. This thing may crash and burn. And to some degree it did. But by the same token, I learned a lot, and it opened other doors for me. And it was a journey well worth taking, even though it wasn't always rosy all the time. So again, great point. Go for it. And you'll learn something along the way, and who knows, it may flourish. And then, gosh, you never would have known that if you hadn't tried.
Yeah. You might have a stellar multi-billion-dollar business like I have in my mind.
It's working. It's getting there, man. You're working on it.
Yeah. So.
I'll see you, Teddy. Have a
All
great
right, buddy. We'll see everybody on Wednesday, 11:55 a.m. Take care, buddy.
All right. Bye-bye.